short time. So I went racing back over here, got to sing and then I stopped. Lights came on. I was naive, but I wasn't stupid. So I figured it out. Oh, okay, so you're not that beat it. I got it. Okay, took a while. So I went home. Took about 3 weeks before we were able to get back to school. And the only way we could get in now was with the help of the U.S. Army. Military came in the person of the 101st Airborne Division. So by the way, if you ever get in trouble here in Davis, and you really need some help, call the 101st. They will help you out. They are tough. I mean, these guys, they had guns with bayonets, steel helmets, steel-toed boots, heavy equipment around their waist. I don't know what all they had, who knows. But my default option was, if things got really bad, just call these soldiers to take people out, just mow them down. But you know what? I found out years later, they didn't have any bullets. None of the soldiers had bullets. And that was pretty scary, after the fact. I was glad I didn't know it then. But the commander, Edwin Walker, General Walker, had decided not to issue ammunition on the assumption that if something triggered a firefight, they would mow down people in Little Rock. It would be very difficult to explain that to the rest of the country, let alone the rest of the world. So they avoided that significant issue by not having bullets. Anyway, once we got into classes, some white kids got up and left. They said, we're not going to school with you. And off they went. However, before they went, they gave us the benefit of their best thinking about us as people. They talked to us about people like us. They had a lot of information about our mothers. Told us stuff about our mothers we didn't even know. And they gave us travel advice. Told us to go back to Africa. You know, some of the interesting. I've never been to Africa. How can I go back? And they were insistent upon it. And they said, as long as you're here, we're not coming back. We are not coming back. Ooh, we gotta watch out for that. Okay. That's all right. It happens every now and again. I went to what school? I'm going to diverge here just for a moment. I was at one elementary school recently. This has nothing to do with Little Rock, but it'll talk in a minute. And I saw these first graders walking down the hall. They were all in a straight line, and they had their hands behind their back. They walk in a straight line. And they were being led by this woman. I didn't know at the time that she was the principal. But I thought to myself, this is so unnatural. These are first grade. They don't walk in straight lines. They don't even do straight lines. So I ran over and knelt down and said, hey kids, come on. I hugged them out. They gathered around me. The principal was fuming by that time. I'd broken up her straight line. But the moral of that story is that often when you try to impose that kind of discipline on children, you actually defeat your own purpose. What you really need is to help people exercise their own potential to be who they are. Anyway, okay, now back to where we were. We got into that school, and these kids left. And then we had to deal with the folk who were unhappy about us being there because they wanted to beat us up. And so they did. They proceeded to beat us up every day. Every day we walked to school, pow, bang, whack. They'd kick, bit, slap, and scratch, and spit on us. I really didn't feel that, well, it was spitting. They spit in my face all the time. It seemed to like that. Can you imagine? Somebody coming up to you spitting in your face? Not very friendly. No. Not very friendly thing to do. I didn't like it. In fact, I remember telling this kid, would you please not do that? He just spit again. It was hard to communicate with these folks. They were hard-headed. But they believed that what they were doing was the right thing to do. They were wrong. They were absolutely wrong. Because they weren't right at all. But we hung in there. For a whole year, we endured this kind of torture. And then, after summer vacation, I was ready to go back for another year. I had one more year to go. But you know what happened? The governor of the state, a man by the name of Oral Faubus, closed down every single public high school in Little Rock. Closed it. Can you imagine walking to Davis one day and finding the doors closed? Big signs saying closed, you can't come in? How terrible that would be. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. I know, you just put me on it. Because I would be upset. I would be so upset. Why? Because school is important. It's important. School is not the ultimate, but it is one of the ways you use to educate yourself. My first grade teacher helped me out with that one. My first grade teacher said to me, Terry Roberts, You have got to take executive control of your own learning. You've got to become the CEO of your own independent learning enterprise. You alone know what you need to learn. It's your job to make it happen. Wow. I believed her. So as a first grader, I took executive control of my own learning, and I went for it. By the time I got to fourth grade, I was expert. In fact, the fourth grade teacher used to assign us books to read, and I was very diligent to read those books. And then I saw her one day making up an examination for us, and rather than use the book that she had assigned to us, she used another book. So I said to myself, as the executive in charge, I got to read that one. Got to read that one too. And I better read any other book that might be remotely connected to this subject matter, so that I could know as much as possible. So when the exam finally came, I wouldn't have any worries. And it works. It absolutely works. You don't have to wait. In fact, I was at a middle school recently, and the kids were whining about homework. Can you imagine that? Whining about homework. And I said to them, you don't have a right to whine about homework. They said, why? I said, because you're ignorant. You don't know anything. Oh, they were shocked that I would call them ignorant. But it's true. In fact, that's the most explicit thing we can say about any human being. All of us are ignorant. We don't know much. I accept my state of ignorance. I know I don't know much. I know this much. That's how much I know. That's a little bit, right? I mean, when you compare the universe, how big is the universe? Is it very, very big? Okay? It's out there with Pluto and Jupiter, all of those will call it. Poor Pluto. He's been downgraded. He's no longer a planet. I felt so bad. Because I always enjoyed Pluto as a planet. Now he's got to scurry around trying to upgrade his stats. But at any rate, when you compare how much I know to how much there is to be known, you can have a great deal of respect for my storehouse of ignorance and do that for yourself so you have an appreciation